Hello everyone, my name is Elliot Greenwood and welcome. Welcome to my pixel art tutorial video, whatever you wanna call it. And today we're gonna make a character. Now I already gone through the sketching out part because it takes most of the time to just come up with a basic idea. I will be making a Fungaloid character for my game. Just a simple project for myself, and I decided just to record it and just see how this thing will turn out. And so you could watch it and maybe learn something new, or just learn what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Now obviously my size of the project is 35 by 70, because I chose my game to be 35 by 35 pixels grid, meaning that all the tiles will be 35 by 35, which is a little bit unusual, but I have my own reasons why I'm doing this. 32 by 32 tiles don't have sharp corner if you're drawing some collectibles. You will always gonna end up something with this, but if you're using uneven number for the tiles, you will end up something like this, which is much better, and that's what I want. So let's just start with the character. So as you can see here, I already pre-sketched some characters. That's basically what the design process looks like whenever you're planning to come up with something new. It's always the best to try to make as many different variations as possible. You will learn something and you will develop new creativity skills and how to actually draw things a little bit better if you haven't tried it yet. It's basically like for testing, I guess. I already done this step and it probably took me like half an hour or like 20 minutes. I wanted to make a fungi based character, since that's the game theme that I'm going with, and I just want to make my character to be like a mushroom. Tried out different shapes, different leg sizes, maybe variations like multiple fungi going on, bendy shapes. So I just kept drawing, and then when I got 6 frames, I looked through all of them and I decided that the first one I actually somewhat nailed. And so what I did, I just cleaned up the edges and this is what I got. So I can just delete these frames because I won't need it anymore. I do have the file saved, so other sketches are saved. Alright, so we got our main character and we can start pretty much coloring it. Make sure that all the lines are perfect, maybe fix right here. The whole shape is pretty much done. Now we can start texturing it, adding color. So I'm going to do more of a white yellowish texture. That's I think too bright, maybe yellowish. Yeah, something like that. And I think that will fit the eyes nicely. Yeah. What if we made like this? Nah, it still looks weird. Maybe let's lower this eye. Now it looks like it's disappointed. That's probably the hardest part, to get the eye's position, like for this. And let's just tone down the leg part, just so it would be easier to tell that it's on the other side. And we're gonna give it an extra shading to this part, 1 tone maybe down, and 1 extra just around the cap. Now this eye does look very bad. Adding line like this doesn't really help. Let's just add shading around the edges, like arm, and just in general the body itself, 1 pixel thin. Just like that. Add a little bit darker tone around these areas, and this mushroom is already taking a shape. So we could pretty much keep it like this. Now what I'm going to do is just gonna get this color and tone it down, and I'm just gonna replace all black color with a darker tone. Doesn't really work, so let's give it more darker, making outlines instead of black. It will make the character a little bit better to look at. Let's shade the leg. It's just playing around pretty much with the colors and shading until I'm gonna get things right. Add this white color here, maybe add more of a grayish tone for now here. I'm just gonna add gray color right here, but maybe let's just fix it a little bit. I was planning using green color, but maybe let's make it cyan, or maybe just more to the blue. No, it still doesn't work. Let's just say blue. Oh, that's too bright. Okay, so here's the deal with the mushroom cap. I remember that I decided to make it blue, but then add some different color patches around some areas. For example, the top area right here is gonna be purple because colors have the meanings, and if I remember correctly, purple means loyalty. This just builds the character, I guess personality of the character. And the pink, so I'm gonna try to get a very pink color, maybe like this. Yep, perfect. Like a purple with a pink personality that it's fragile and it can get killed easily. We're talking in a game terms anyway, so you gotta understand that. So one patch is like a royalty, but also a weakness. Now the next patch, I remember it's gonna be red one. That's too bright. Now the red color is too bright right here, so let's give it more of a crimson. It doesn't mean evil as well, it means usually the courage, because of the game theme, what I'm planning to do. And it just slowly builds to orange, just like this. Give it a green color for safety, and it will turn into maybe lighter green. We're gonna turn it into yellow patch. Now if I remember correctly, yellow means confidence, optimism. It's building basically like a very friendly character, I would say. And blue in general also means sort of a loyalty and confidence. But it looks like a clown, but we will fix that once we're gonna start adding shading. Gonna add just one more orange yellow, just to strengthen the fact that the character is not weak-minded. Just gonna move this piece over here, and another maybe purple pink combination right over here. Now this room looks like it's on drugs, so what I can do now is pretty much just start shading this head because it looks way too weird. So here's the cool feature about this PiskelApp, and probably many others, but that's what tactic I gonna use to shade it. First I'm just gonna copy this section of the cap, that's about right, and let's just paste it in the other layer. Let's remove all these colors, and I'm just gonna fill in each spot in the main layer. I'm just gonna remove the blue color, blue, and just move this layer below. As you can see in the preview, there's no problem with that. What I'm going to do now, I'm just gonna shade the cap even better by making it darker blue, like this. I'm gonna select the lighten shading tool and just shade it off. And I have a couple tones shade. Make more layers. Let's completely remove the other side. And now let's just fix the shade. And I decided just to add one more lighter patch. And there we go, we have the cap that is fully shaded. So what I'm gonna do now, just gonna edit the colors, because I think it's better if the gaps were filled up a little bit more. And there we go, fixed it up a little bit, and in the preview I can already see that it looks much better. So now we're gonna just do the same thing, and we're gonna remove these lines. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna basically using the same method, we're gonna shade them down. Okay, so now let's just merge things together and let's fix it up a little bit. And there we go, we have a basic shading. So we turn from this to this. And I think this looks much better. Now just fix this little patch right here. What we can do is just either lighten and darken a little bit. And that's done pretty much. And now the head is pretty much done. Alright, so I think the whole very basic texturing is done. Actually need to finish the eyes. That looks weird. That looks too shocked. I think that does it. And we're just gonna give it a little bit more of a texture. Something like that. Blue eyes. Tone it up. So that will make it a little bit more friendlier. And now gonna start adding noise to the body, because this level of shading is super cartoonish. I'm a fan of a little bit more detail. Select the inner part, copy it, remove unneeded textures, since we're gonna work just on the body itself, and it's gonna be super quick method. And just like that, we have a proper shading. It looks alright. Some parts maybe need more. Way better than this. So now let's work on the cap. The cap is gonna be a little bit harder because I never actually worked so many different colors at the same time. So it's gonna be a tricky part to add noise to it that wouldn't ruin it. It's easier when you're working with a single color. This one is gonna be a little challenge here for me. Now let's just copy this frame and let's see what we can do to not destroy it. So I think I'm just gonna start darkening it a little bit. Let's see if that works. Now that we got an error right here. When you have a huge palette, error starts popping out, but it doesn't really mean much. And that's what I meant about the tricky part, because adding noise to just solid colors, on some colors it just doesn't work. Yeah, it looks yikers. It looks very yikers. Undo all the thing. So I think maybe just add a little bit noise just very around the edges. So we could create extra depth, soft light noise. And I think that just balanced it out. That pretty much fixed it up. Except maybe like this part here and there. Yeah, the whole thing is fixed. Just add the darker line right here. Just trying to get rid of the lines that are solid, just solid color. But I'm trying as well not to destroy the whole thing, because adding too much is gonna make it worse. And I think that gives the perfect amount. But of course we're gonna need to replace the outline. Just add more noise right over here. The body is giving the shadow. Of course I'm gonna make this part here a little bit darker because it's inside and there is no light coming out. And this blue line, let's just change it to something else. Yeah, let's keep it brown because it matches the whole shroom. So the shading part is done. It took me quite a while because I haven't really played with these type of colors much. I mastered the brown color and the gray color. But it's always good to learn and test play out with the new colors, and of course the whole character doesn't really look that great, I would say. It's just those patches that are a little bit bothering. But of course, if I'm gonna change my mind, change the cap, I will be able to do it anytime because I have the whole project saved. Just select whole the thing, delete it, and maybe add just one solid color if I'm gonna get annoyed by it. Yeah, I can change it anytime, so don't worry about it. So here we have it. We made the character fully shaded and it looks quite decent. If you wanna learn how to use PiskelApp, I have created a tutorial on it. So if you would like to watch it, I left the link to the video in the description down below. So this is the part 1 of the character series. In the next part, we're going to make an idle animation. But for now, we're gonna leave it here. So thanks for watching again. My name is Elliot Greenwood, and let your imagination, fantasy go wild.